my shorts.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Dave Lee Down Under podcast. This is episode 9. Can't believe you made it so far. Or should I say, yes you mash. Welcome to the Dave Lee Down Under podcast. I am your host, Dave Lee. Yes, very nice. Yes, very good. Oh Lord, if you're listening, you're not watching the video version of this, you're probably thinking, what the hell are you doing? You've gone to the bottom of the barrel. No, it's the Halloween episode. Oh yeah, this is how we do Halloween here in Australia. Dodgy Halloween costumes. And, I'm obviously dressed up as Borat, if you hadn't figured that out by now. But if you're watching out there, you can see I'm doing my best Borat. This is like what I could cobble together this afternoon. Halloween is not huge here in Australia, so we like to pull off like a dodgy Halloween costume and just a dodgy Halloween. So this isn't really much of a Halloween show or Halloween special, but I am here as Borat. I made an effort to do a shave, but I wasn't 100% committed to the role today. So I've done I've just trimmed a little bit. I don't like doing a full shave. I've got the mustache, and then again cobbled up together a costume this afternoon. Doesn't look great, but I'm here sitting as Borat. Old mate Rick was supposed to be joining me this afternoon, but I don't know where on earth he is. He's disappeared, and what is this? Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! What is this? Oh no! Oh, again, if you're not watching, I've had this white sheet ghost sat down next to me. How are you going, ghost?
I've had a rough week, Dave.
Oh no, it's old mate Rick. Oh, old mate Rick's here. He's dressed as an old as a white sheet ghost, obviously.
I've had a rough week.
He's had a rough week. Didn't survive the week.
Didn't survive the week and come back to haunt you, Dave.
Well, thank you very much. I'd rather have a ghost as my co-host than no one, I guess. But thanks again for joining us here on the Dave Lee Down Under podcast. It is the Halloween special. As I said, we do a dodgy Halloween here in Australia. You can join us every single Monday on the podcast. The episode goes out on all podcasting platforms every week, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts. Haven't sorted out the Amazon situation yet, Mr. Ghost. Don't know what's going on there, but we'll sort that out. Yeah, well, yeah. We've got the visual element. Of course, this podcast goes out on YouTube every day, every Monday alongside the main podcast. But if you are a patron supporter, you can get that 2 days early on the Saturday. So if you want to be a patron supporter to support the show and the Dave Lee Down Under brand for as little as $1 a month, you can do that by heading to patreon.com/Dave Lee Down Under. If you want to write into the show, you can shoot me an email at daveleepod@gmail.com. And of course, please leave good reviews.
Only good ones.
Only the good ones, the bad ones.
I haunt you.
Oh, jeez. Ooh. You got some more incentive this week to...
this is too hot, Dave.
You want to get out of there?
Oh my God.
I think actually I might just unbutton this. Oh, this is going to be a very uncomfortable podcast. I
did survive the week.
Oh, beautiful. That's good. Let's turn off these sound effects because they're shit. I told you we do a dodgy Halloween here in Australia. I'm not 100% committed to the bit, but I'm gonna leave this blazer on, this jacket on, for as long as I can. But yes, of course, old mate Rick is here once again with us.
That was piss week, wasn't it?
That was absolutely piss week. But that's how we do it down under. That's how we do Halloween here in Australia. I'm giving you a real slice of Australian life out there.
Yes, Dave says it's not huge here.
Not huge.
It's getting bigger every year, though.
Well, it is, yeah.
You know, the kids love it.
Yeah, very fun. Oh, it was great, actually, because I was in the UK for Halloween last year. Huge over there, right? And the great thing is, of course, all the houses in the UK, you've got like the double level.
The 2 up, 2 down.
Yeah, the 2 up, 2 down. And then, so what I would do is I would just stand at the top room, which was like my study, and I'd just stand at the window just like staring out like
some creepy
some creep. And all the like trick-or-treaters would be walking past, and I look up into the house, just this creepy guy just like staring down. Oh, they didn't come. They didn't come knocking. That was the plan. Go away. We don't want trick-or-treaters. Go away. Yeah, so I thought that was a bit of fun. But yeah, we don't really do it here. I think I went trick or treating once when I was a kid. That's about it. It's not a thing here, really.
Not really.
Not really. You get Reject Shop and Kmart and all them trying to jump on it, but never really taken off. It's really a very American and British thing.
Well, obviously it's an American thing, but
no, it's British. It started in England.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah, and then the Americans ripped them off. But yeah, I thought the same thing too. I thought it was a very American thing, but no, they took it from I guess the Americans probably are the ones who, made it so commercialized.
Yeah.
But it was a very British tradition. It goes back to like the, as far as I'm aware, I could be speaking shit again, but I think it's like the whole, witch trials and all that kind of stuff that happened in the UK, and it kind of spawned from the back of all that kind of occult stuff, it was going on. But anyway, yeah, but here, once again, it's not huge, as you can see by our dodgy attempt at a Halloween show. If you're just listening, you're not watching the show, you can either hop on YouTube and check out this opening sting that we've just done, or we'll get some pictures up on the social medias. Of course, you can check me out. I should have said at the top of the show. You can check me out on Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. We'll get some pictures up there so you can have a look at this tragic. We're going to be cancelled next week. We're going to be off. Next week will be episode 10. That's very exciting. So I have to figure out something very exciting to be doing for that. But don't get your hopes up, judging by our Halloween show. Oh, Lord. I have had an exciting week. I passed 70,000 subscribers on YouTube. Actually, 71
now, yeah.
Yeah, I crossed over a couple of thousand.
That 80,000 by Christmas?
Yeah, well, hopefully, I'm hoping by the end of the year
If you're not subscribed, subscribe.
Subscribe,
get
please.
Up to 80,000 by Christmas.
I was hoping, at one point, I was tracking to have 100,000 by the end of this year, but views went down a little bit at the beginning of this year. I think it's mostly the pandemic and stuff. A lot of people were offline and stuff. I don't know. I don't want to blame it all on that, but my performance went down a little bit at the end of the year. It's back up now. It's better than it's ever been. I sound like Trump, don't I? Okay. It's back up. It's better than it's ever been. It's great. But we should be tracking for about 80,000 by the end of the year, which should be nice.
That'd be good. Yeah, that'd be good.
It has been.
But I mean, you've got to remember, people are sort of going back to work now. A lot of people, like even your mother used to say that when she was taking public transport, she'd still watch YouTube videos and all that sort of stuff.
That's the funny thing, because obviously that's the peak time you get people watching is when they're commuting to work, they're commuting home from work, or they're like at their lunch break and stuff, with a lot of people not at work at the moment, or earlier in the year, unfortunately. People just kind of were doing other things and stuff, right. Understandably, which is fine. I mean, it affects whatever. But with a lot of people going back to work and stuff, I'm kind of, the traffic is driving back up,
exactly,
which is good. But it's interesting because I've seen like a fluctuation, like as I was saying, I lost my track of thought for a second there. But you had those people on at those specific times, and as things started to change, you could actually see like the peak times changing as well, shifting with it. I can go into my analytics and see like what my peak times are and stuff, and they were changing like rapidly throughout the year, which is very strange. But anyway. Hopefully we'll be at 80,000 by the end of the year. That'll be very nice. That'll be a very nice, yes. Oh, God.
Got to get up to 100,000, get that play button.
I know, I want that play button. Help me, guys. I'm going to stick it up somewhere. I don't know where, but in my study probably.
Just don't bend over.
No. Move on. It has been a decent week, though. It's been all right. We've been keeping up to date on the situation here in Melbourne. Of course, we have been in the longest and strictest lockdown of anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
And we're just starting to come out of it.
And that was, 15 weeks or
17 weeks
or something like that. So best part of 5 months.
Mm-hmm.
4.5, 5 months, something like that.
Well, we opened up.
Pretty tough.
And then spiked, and then we closed back down again, and now we're just slowly, we had a couple of days there, we were at 0 cases and 0 deaths, which is great. It's kind of fluctuating a little bit now, but we are starting to open up. Stuff like retail's back open, with limited number of people are allowed in stores and stuff. Cafes and stuff I think are opening. There's just a few little things we still can't do.
Well, I had to go over to the shopping centre the other day, and it wasn't bad. The car parks were half empty, which was pretty good. So people, but mind you, that was the second day.
The
first day was horrendous.
A lot of traffic outside.
Where we live, we can sort of see movement of traffic and stuff, and the traffic was pretty heavy that first day of being unlocked.
Everyone just wanted to get
out.
And
the second day was fine. It was not, and that's why I thought, I'll go today and get this over and done with.
Yeah.
And it wasn't bad at all. There wasn't too many people, and people were doing the right thing. Seemed to be doing the right thing, most of them. So it was okay. And just as long as people keep doing the right thing and
keep on doing it, guys.
Wearing your masks.
Yeah.
Got to wear the masks.
Yeah.
Whether you agree with it or not, just take the cautious approach. I think.
Exactly right. We just don't
want to be locked down again.
Yeah.
Although I heard today, I was on when I had to duck out earlier. The chief health officer, I think, Brett, whatever his name is, Brett Sutton, that's the one, had said that he doesn't believe we will have to go into a third lockdown.
Hope not. That'd be nice.
Which it would just destroy the place. Like, it's bad enough as it is now with a lot of people losing jobs and all that sort of shit. We don't want to have to go into the third lockdown because it'll actually totally destroy the economy and people's lives. So at least they've got a positive outlook on it, and hope they can sort of keep trace of everything and whatever. Yeah, and we will be able to stay free. Hopefully. And now we're allowed to go. Now we're allowed to go visit family and stuff.
Yeah,
as well.
That's good. That's good. You can see people. Very limited.
It's only two adults.
Yeah, from each household.
From a household, and only visitors from one household at a time, once a day, and
that's all right.
We've still got a 25-kilometre radius, but
until
they look
November.
They look like changing that weekend after this coming one, I think. That'll be good. That's good.
Yeah. So it's slowly getting back to normal. They what's called, as you hate, COVID normal. All these little buzzwords that have been coming out of this pandemic. COVID normal. It's normal life, but learning to live with the virus. So anyway, we're getting there. So that's the kind of the silver lining of this week. We have got some spooky horror stories for you this week.
Not about spooky.
Not spooky, but very scary horror stories. Another Courier disaster.
Dun, dun, dun.
I should have loaded the board with a sound effect.
Yeah, no.
Oh, well, dodgy Halloween and all that. Another bloody disaster with a Courier this week.
But if you've been listening, you've been hearing our bloody Courier
never-ending series
crap the last few weeks of stuff going missing and delivering to the wrong address, and couriers parking in the driveway for 45 minutes. Looking at bloody Facebook.
It's been weird. This pandemic has flipped the entire postal system on its head. Not that the postal system here in Australia has been that good ever, really. But it's really bad at the moment.
Yeah,
I got terrible. A package from Amazon. Now I'm an Amazon Prime member. I won't be now. But I had my Prime membership, and when you can order from Amazon US and Amazon UK through Amazon Australia now. So it's called the Global Store. So you essentially place an order through Amazon Australia, and it comes from the international stores. That's actually a lot cheaper. It's just really good. It's actually like it's cheaper for me to import stuff that way than it ever has been to go
buy from here.
To actually buy from the international stores. And you buy if you spend over $50, you get free shipping. You don't have to pay the extra taxes that they drop on top of it from the internet. It's cheap, like $10, $15 Blu-rays from America, where you'd be paying $20, $25 directly, maybe more. So I placed an order through Amazon UK Global Store. Now, usually, they would only take a couple of days to come because they come like expedited shipping. Sometimes it may take like a month to actually ship, but then you get it in a couple of days. I placed a bunch of orders. They've been taking like 2 or 3 weeks, up to a month to actually arrive after they've shipped. This one Amazon order from Amazon UK came wrapped up. Again, if you're listening, you won't be able to see this, but I can show it to the guys out there. It's essentially came in this Ozpost bag. So I had my little box. It came in this Ozpost bag, and it says on the bag right there, the enclosed was found to be either loose in the mail or damaged while it's being processed, right? And all this other junk on there. And the box that it came in, be careful not to show my address there, but the box that it came in here, super loose. Like, this has come from the UK. It's not even a box. It's like a sleeve of cardboard with a couple of tabs on either end that they didn't even seal. Just tuck the tags in there, and that's it, right? So loose as, I ordered like 4 items, 1 came.
Yeah.
So 3 of them have dropped out somewhere, whether that's dropped out in the UK. I mean, they're coming from other side of the world to here, and I've lost 3 items along the way somewhere in transit, whether it's happened at Ozpost and they've gone disappearing from Ozpost or just anywhere. You know, they could have gone disappearing anywhere, or they could have been damaged. They could have been absolutely smashed up. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I think at some point they've fallen out of there and then just not found their way here. What a disaster, man. So I had to get onto Amazon, and Amazon Australia can't replace orders that you've bought from third-party sellers.
But you've ordered it through
Amazon, and it's not like these are third-party sellers like some
Amazon
like Mike's Blu-rays or something. This is an Amazon. You're buying from Amazon through Amazon, and they couldn't replace it. Anyway, the whole order was refunded kindly, and I was able to replace the order. The one item that I did get was damaged. So they refunded the entire order, which is very nice of them. And then they covered extra shipping for me to get a priority delivery. And a couple of the items were more expensive than they were when I originally bought them. So they covered the extra cost. They were very good with that. But I just think it's crazy that they couldn't.
Well, if they package stuff properly, that wouldn't happen.
Exactly right. Yeah.
And it makes you wonder, just if they would have just whacked a bit of tape right around around it, it would never have. They would never have lost it, and they would never have had to refund your money and then send new stuff out.
Exactly right. That's so stupid.
It's just a joke.
Like, that's the kind of thing you'd send a book in, and a book would arrive okay. But I mean, that kind of packaging's okay. I get a lot of books from Book Depository and packaging like that. But the fact is, it's so loose. It's so loose that stuff was going to come out of that.
Well, that's what you normally get books in. But a book could fit in there nicely. But Blu-rays and DVDs, they're small and they just rattle around. There's
even holes on the side and everything. So
makes you wonder how much Amazon would lose a year through poor packaging and stuff.
That'd have to be a lot. But that's nuts. Like, that's the first time that's ever happened. I've had a lot of issues with Amazon and the post, but that's the first time that's happened.
But you and I are paying for that.
Well,
like, stuff goes missing, and if anything goes missing, Amazon just makes sure that they, make an extra couple of % on everything and, cover their losses.
Yeah.
So you and I pay for that.
Yeah,
for the fuck up.
Oh, well.
Crazy.
It's sorted out. I got a refund. I replaced the order, and it's all sorted, and it'll probably take me another month.
And they're always good like that. Like Amazon.
Yeah,
they've always done that.
Their customer service is really good. That's one thing. Yeah.
Mostly.
Well, most of the time. I had another disaster. I got a strike on my channel, a copyright strike. First time ever. Like, I've had copyright takedowns. Well, no. I've had demonetizations. I've had them like flag stuff with copyright. Obviously, a lot of videos, all of my videos really are done with footage from, whatever.
That are legally allowed.
I'm legally allowed to use them because it's fair use. I can use them for criticism, commentary, review, parody, whatever. Right. So the way that I use footage is legal. I'm legally allowed to. So a lot of the time when I get a copyright, sort of like a demonetization or a copyright flag, it's probably some kind of dodgy. It's I'm in the right to use it, and they trying to claim it, whatever. This time round, I got a strike because I covered something I probably shouldn't have covered.
But it wasn't deliberate, though.
It wasn't really deliberate. It was a leaked trailer for the Tom and Jerry movie. As far as I was aware, I could post it. It was shared all over the internet. I usually don't cover stuff that, as it turned out, was a leaked thing. Yeah. I usually wouldn't cover stuff like that. I got to jump on this Tom and Jerry thing. It went up. It blew up. It was like 10, 15,000 views or something. And I got taken down that night by Warner Brothers, who slammed a massive strike. They ripped the video down. First time I've ever had a video actually removed. And when you get the video removed, they strike. You get a strike. So I've got one copyright strike. I had to do copyright school, YouTube copyright school.
Really?
Yeah, they sent me this video, really patronizing video with these cartoon characters.
Oh, God.
From Happy Tree Friends or some shit, right? And, copyright. You're not allowed to use other people's videos because that's very bad. Naughty, naughty kind of thing, right? And then you have to fill out a questionnaire. They're like, do this copyright school and we'll remove the strike. So I did it. All good. Like 10 minutes, whatever. And then it says, congratulations, you've graduated copyright school. Your copyright strike will expire in 3 months.
Oh, Jesus.
As far as I'm aware, it's not going to affect the performance of my channel, my monetization or anything. Just a slap on the wrist. If you get 3 of them, they take your channel down. So I got to be very careful over the next couple of months. Again, covered something I probably shouldn't have done, as it turns out, unfortunately, and I'll just be very careful with what I do in the future.
But as I said, it wasn't a deliberate thing. It was something that you only really realised after the fact, really.
That I probably should. Yeah, exactly right. You know, everyone was sharing it. It was everywhere, like everywhere. And I just thought, oh, one more, you know. But anyway, that happened.
And we apologise to Warner Brothers.
I do apologise for Warner Brothers for doing that. I won't do it again. It's very silly. That was, whatever.
Big mistake. Lesson learned.
Yes, exactly right. This week, what have we watched? Not a lot this week. We haven't really. I don't know. We haven't really watched a lot. I've still been going on the Universal monster films. Been a couple of days this morning a couple of mornings this week where I haven't really watched anything. I've still been plugging on these classic Universal monster films, the legacy films. I did the 3 Abbott and Costello ones: Meet Frankenstein, Meet the Invisible Man, and Meet the Mummy. All great. Well, the Mummy one wasn't very good. That's like a really late, like 50s Abbott and Costello. Wasn't very funny. Didn't enjoy that one very much. But Meet Frankenstein is great. Like one of the best comedy movies ever. And I've started on the Creature from the Black Lagoon films in 3D.
It was funny because you're watching one in 3D yesterday or the day before?
Yeah.
Day before yesterday, wasn't it, I think? Mm-hmm. And I poked my head in, didn't have my glasses, and I thought, geez, my eyesight's really bad today. And then realised, oh, shit, he's watching it in 3D.
Watching it in 3D, yeah. Because there was like that big like 3D boom of the 50s was like really gimmicky, so they brought out a lot of movies in 3D.
So where you wore the red and green or red and blue.
Yeah. But they're actually really good transfers. Like they're actually some of the best 3D discs out there, which is crazy. These like films from the 1950s. Wow. So I've watched the first 2, Creature from the Black Lagoon and Revenge of the Creature from the Black Lagoon, both in 3D. I've got one more to go. I can't remember what that's called. Creature Walks Among Us or something. I'll probably watch that tomorrow. And then I've got a couple more like sci-fi horror ones. I got to watch This Island Earth, It Came from Outer Space. And I didn't watch Phantom of the Opera. So I'm going to double back and watch that one, and then I'm done. I've got like a bunch of Vincent Price horror films that I want to watch, but I don't know whether I'll keep going or whether I'll get to them like next year or some other time. But anyway.
They're good, the Vincent Price ones.
Yeah. I don't think I've really ever...
good films, eh?
I don't think I've ever really watched much that Vincent Price has been in.
But the Abbott and Costello ones are good.
Oh, yeah. So much fun.
They're good fun.
So much fun, yeah.
Really good fun.
Very good. We watched a couple of new movies this week. We, of course, watched Borat, subsequent movie film. Very nice.
It's just about the worst.
It's terrible.
I've ever heard.
It's just going further down.
And your costume. Oh, my God.
Oh, it's a terrible costume.
It's shocking.
It's terrible. It's getting really hot, too. Take that off. But Borat, subsequent movie film. Very good. That was very good.
It was excellent.
I loved it. I thought it was very
I thought the first one was better.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
But still, I mean, he's probably lucky he didn't get himself
my Lord,
in a lot more trouble than what he did.
Exactly right.
Particularly at that rally.
Oh, that gun rally. If you've seen the footage, there's like footage he put out where they tried to jump him on the stage and he had to like get in a getaway car that was like an ambulance. Like they set this whole getaway car up and all this stuff. Nuts. Like crazy.
But they said that they paid for it or something.
Yeah, they said they paid like promoters. They didn't tell them what was going on, but they paid the promoters for all the security, for the ambulances. And, like, they pretended that, we got, like, this, like, superstar that wants to come and perform and we're going to pay you for, like, everything, security, everything. Oh, yeah, great, yeah. So they paid for it all and then they, like, obviously staged it so that the security guards would make sure that if anything happened, he would be safe, keep them away from him. And then the ambulances that were there as, like, ambulances were actually getaway cars. It was a great interview with him on the Colbert Show. You can find on YouTube, it's just brilliant. Just his commitment to the gag and it's just so clever. It's such a stupid character, stupid comedy, but it's so clever.
I heard somewhere where he in some of the scenes or something, he was wearing a bulletproof vest or something?
Apparently 3 scenes he had to wear a bulletproof vest. I think so.
At a gun rally, you think he'd be wearing one?
Well, you'd think so. But it's the first movie he's had to wear a bulletproof vest for. But he did, I believe, for the last series he did, Who Was America, he wore a bulletproof vest for a few things.
Wasn't
crazy?
Wasn't there at that rally? Wasn't there somebody who'd pulled a gun or something?
Yeah, apparently someone pulled a gun. It's in this interview. Someone pulled a weapon out, and the security guard had to be like, "Yeah, don't do that. It's not worth doing it.
Yeah,
not worth it. Yeah, nuts." So he's like, just commitment to just go out and do that. The craziest thing is, you never see him break that character.
But they realised it was him, didn't they?
They realised it was him. That's why they jumped the stage, right? They tried to get him. He's up there dressed as a cowboy and singing this crazy song, and getting them all to sing along with him, roping them in. And once they realised, shit, they tried to jump him. But the funniest thing with that video is he breaks character. You see him break character. His English accent comes out. He's like, go, go. Yeah. But you never see that. You never see that in the film.
Yeah, that's right.
You always see him stay in character, even if it's there's a video of him getting pulled over by the cops in Washington for having recording equipment, driving around the White House in an ice cream van with recording equipment, right? And he stays in character the entire time. It's like a 10, 15-minute thing. It was a deleted scene from the first film. So he always stays in character, but this one thing, it's fascinating to see him break that character and just be like, oh, I'm scared for my life now.
But even when he does the interviews as the character. And this is the first film he's ever given an interview as himself.
Well, first one of these mockumentary ones, yeah. Crazy. But yeah, that commitment to that gag is crazy. And even the girl that was in it, and her name is completely escaping me at the moment, but even her commitment to the gag in that film is brilliant. She was doing everything that he was doing and more. Upstaging him in certain scenes.
Oh, she was fantastic.
She was amazing.
Yeah.
Maria Bakalova.
That's right.
She was terrific in that. And, I loved it. I thought it was really good. It surprised me. It's one of those things where it's all right, Borat's 15 years ago, however long ago, it's not going to be any good. It's just so good.
Yeah, no, it was good.
It was so good.
It was worth the wait.
And again, when you get to the core of it, which is actually making a statement, it's not a stupid comedy, it's a satire. Don't want to spoil too much, but there's a real heart to it, and there's a real there's a meaning. There's a reason he's done it and done it now.
Yeah, that's right.
Just brilliant. And another comedy we watched, which wasn't really that brilliant. It was brilliant in a different way. Hubie Halloween.
Oh, God. Loved it.
Oh, it's so good.
That crap.
Oh, shit.
Shitty comedy is just worth watching.
Oh, man. Adam Sandler just trying to recapture that success of the 90s, when he was late 20s, 30 years old, just doing stupid comedies. You had throwbacks to the old films. You had all these mates in the movies, just grab all your mates and make a movie over a weekend sort of thing. Oh, it was great. I thought it was so good. Steve Buscemi is I won't spoil it, but Steve Buscemi is a crazy character, and you've got Kevin James, King of Queens, just playing just a stupid cop, playing himself, really.
And what's his name? I can't think of his name now. The animal.
Steve Buscemi.
No.
Oh, yeah, Rob Schneider. Rob Schneider. Rob Schneider's in there. They're all in, and lots of other great cameos and stuff. Just such a good, fun, stupid movie. I loved it. If you like
crap comedy,
you got to get on it. Yeah, and the thing is, it's
meant to
be shit. Because he said when he did Uncut Gems, if I don't get nominated for an Academy Award, I'm going to make the worst movie ever.
Well, he was never going to get an Academy Award for that, so he's probably already made this film.
I was going to say, we would have already been in production, but he's sure. I'm going to release the worst movie ever. And it's so bad, but it's so bloody good. But a really good movie we did watch this weekend was Richard Jewell.
Oh, yeah.
Clint Eastwood film. He's not in it. He directed it. It's got Sam Rockwell, who's my favourite actor.
Love Sam.
Favourite modern actor. It's got Kathy Bates is in it, Olivia Wilde, John Hamm, and the lead guy, Paul Walter Hauser, I believe his name is. He is fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, he was in I, Tonya. He played the dopey friend who takes out the hit on, does the, tax, what's her name?
Yep.
Brilliant film. I thought it was really good. It's a bit like one of those stereotypical sort of biopic things, but it was very good, as Clint Eastwood movies always are.
Olivia Wilde was good in it too.
She was very good. They were all very good in it.
John Hamm's always good.
He's always great. Oh, Don Draper.
Don Draper. That's something we're going to get back to watching.
I know, we got to watch Mad Men. Talking about TV, this week we finished Fargo Season 3, finally.
Woohoo!
We got through it.
That was a struggle.
That season,
was a real
man.
struggle.
Just slow as slog. I don't know.
It was awful.
It was crap, wasn't it?
So it wasn't awful, but it wasn't great.
No, it wasn't a great one.
It wasn't awful, it was terrible.
Ewan McGregor, Ewan McGregor was great in it. But once the novelty of the two characters kind of wears off, it's like...
And even the woman in it.
Mary...
Can't think of her name.
Oh, jeez. It's escaped me.
She was
really great.
I thought she was great.
She's great. She was in Birds of Prey.
Oh, okay.
She's the huntress. Why has her name escaped me at the moment? She's got 3 names. I can't remember it. But anyway, yeah, she like really great actors in there, a great cast, but it just didn't quite get there. It's just too slow and too like all of the what do you call it? All of the Fargo ones are pretty slow. They're like a long slog, and it takes a while to actually get to the point.
Except the first season.
The first season's great, like beginning to end. Second season was like slow.
In fact, the movie Fargo
with Steve Buscemi,
is a great film.
Yeah.
It's one of my favourite films. Love it.
Yeah. Mary Elizabeth Winstead. That's her name.
Right.
She's brilliant. I thought she's great. But yeah, this season it's like it just takes forever to get to the point, and I felt like it never actually got there. Got there.
It just took forever.
I was like, what was that? Oh, man. We got that out of the way. There's a 4th season now with Chris Rock, which looks good, but I'm hearing it's the worst season of the lot, so we're not in a rush to get to that.
Do we have to watch it?
No, probably not. It's on SBS Demand, so maybe eventually.
Probably says something.
Yeah, well, who knows? They do like a lot of crime stuff, SBS, so that makes sense. We spoke about it last week, saying, why is it on SBS? That's a bit weird, because they don't usually take a lot of the mainstream stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's because they play a lot of crime shows.
Oh, okay. And foreign...
And there's a lot of foreign stuff. And
kinky films.
Oh, yeah, SBS used to tune in at like 12 a.m. on a Friday night on SBS. There'd always be some weird sort of thing on there. Jack Whitehall Travels with My Father we watched. It's like a 2-part season 4. Great, so funny.
It was a good series, that. The whole Travels with My Father.
Yeah, very good.
When he did one in India?
I can't remember. He's done 4 seasons. I can't remember where he went, but he's been all over. He's been all over.
But they're fantastic. If you haven't watched them, have a look. If you like a good laugh, and
there's so much
watching
fun.
Some young bloke working with his old man.
Oh yeah, exactly.
and how crazy they can be.
It's so good. The old man
fantastic.
is an absolute scream. Just a
he was an agent. An agent, wasn't he? A
really
theatrical agent.
Yeah.
And a really well-known theatrical agent.
How do you think Jack Whitehall's got a career?
Well,
his father.
Yeah, fair enough. And they're he's incredibly pompous.
Oh yeah,
incredibly pompous.
Oh yeah, typical real posh Brit. And if you know the posh Brits, they're not as posh as they seem.
No.
Once you scratch that surface, foul-mouthed and just, very just, as you would see with Jack Whitehall's father, some of his world views and everything's just very, far out there. I'm not going to lump everyone but it's, just a very funny caricature, really. It's a lot of fun, that show. This week, we've got The Crown starting next week, which is awesome.
Looking forward to that.
Or the week after, whenever that starts. Then we've got The Mandalorian. That's tonight at the time of recording this, Friday. I'm so excited. I was Disney.
How many episodes? Is it the whole season?
2 tonight? The premiere.
It was a weekly thing.
And it's a weekly thing, yeah.
I got to put it all up at once.
I know. So it's going to have to be one of those things where you go back every Friday. A bit annoying. Usually I would get screeners from Disney Plus, but they didn't do it for this one. Well, they are doing screeners, but the screeners go out at the exact same time the show goes live on Disney Plus. That's right. Because they weren't allowed to release it any earlier. So I thought that was quite funny. But yeah, so I will review that. I'm not going to be in a rush to do it.
They sent you a code for the screener, didn't they? So you could log on for the screener.
Yeah, they sent me the screener thing. They said you'll have it on that, but that's like the exact same time.
And the problem with the screeners are that when you watch it, it's got email address and stuff right across
your
the
name,
center
like
of
a watermark.
So you've got to watch it. You've got to watch it with the watermark.
So you just watch it on the standard Disney Plus instead of through the
watermark.
You wouldn't watch it through the streamer, the screener port. But yeah, so anyway, I'm looking forward to that, and that's one thing. Like, if I got it early, I would have to be rushing to put a review together and stuff. I just want to watch it, and I'll do a review for like the premiere episode, and then just kind of like whatever. Like if I was getting it early each week, I'd feel the pressure to like do a weekly review, try and get videos out. But I feel like it's a little bit of weight off me, which is fine. I'm not going to rush to it because that review is not going to get any views. There's going to be so many people doing Mandalorian.
Thousands of them. Exactly
right. So it's not even worth my time really. But I will do a review for that first thing, which might actually be up already by the time this podcast's gone out.
Probably.
This week we also... What's that sound? Wow.
Got it.
You got it this week. You got the hat on this week. Deadwood update. How many we get through this week?
We got up 3 this week.
3. Whoa.
Big week.
Big week. Is this a record or have we done 3 before?
I think we've done 3 before, but it's been a while.
Yeah, so we're like halfway through season 2 now-ish.
Well, we've done 6 eps.
So a little bit over halfway. Was it 12 episodes or 10?
12?
I don't know. We're about halfway anyway.
Let me have a look.
And it's still out of sync, the Blu-ray. Oh, my Lord.
The first disc was terrible.
Yeah.
But the second one, which was episode 5 on this disc, was pretty good.
I was fine, yeah.
And then... Episode 6
is out of sync again,
but not as far out of sync as the first disc.
Like if you'd listened last week, we're talking about the Australian discs of Deadwood were just the way they were authored. There's just audio issues. It's terrible. But then you'll have some episodes where it's in sync for a bit and then it goes out again. And it's back, and then you might have some scenes where one character's in sync and the other character's not. Yes. It's just so weird. I can't even explain what the hell happened there.
Hard to watch.
It's very hard to watch. But anyway, we're getting through and we'll finish it. We'll finish this series.
It's 12 episodes a season.
Yeah.
So we're halfway through second season.
Yeah.
So we're persisting and we'll get through it.
We'll get there eventually. Eventually. Yeah. Another show that's coming to Disney Plus soon is one called Marvel's 616, which is a documentary series about Marvel Comics, Marvel films. I can't say a lot. What I can say is what is public knowledge. This is Disney's synopsis. It explores Marvel's rich legacy of pioneering characters, creators, and storytelling to reflect the world outside your window. Each documentary, helmed by a unique filmmaker, showcases the intersections of storytelling, pop culture, and fandom within the Marvel universe. Episodes in this anthology series will cover topics including Marvel's world-spanning artists, the trailblazing women of Marvel Comics, discovering forgotten characters of Marvel, and much more. So incredible directors attached to this. I don't know how much I'm allowed to say. I don't know how much is like public knowledge about who's directing. I got the series as screeners from Disney Plus. I'm not allowed to say anything about them, but I've got them there. This doesn't come out until like late November, so I can't say anything. I'm like embargoed until like the 15th or the 16th or 17th or something. I have to check on that. But I did get the chance to speak with one of the directors on the show, and this is public knowledge, comedic actor Paul Scheer. He directed the episode Lost and Found, where he discovers lost characters of Marvel. And one of the show's executive producers, Sarah Amos, I got to speak to both of them. A really great interview to be able to speak to both of them. I did that yesterday morning. So that interview will be up again probably mid-November when I'm allowed to actually release that and actually say stuff about the show.
It's the 17th or something like that.
It's something like that, yeah. So, as I say, got the whole series, working my way through it. Can't say anything for a couple of weeks, but hang in tight there. Yeah, that's a show that's coming out very soon. Marvel 616, another Disney Plus documentary series.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what lost characters there were.
Well, yeah.
And who they could have used in the cinematic universe.
Well, I've seen it, so I could tell you about one. Anyway.
I haven't.
You haven't? Oh, well.
I'll have to wait like everybody else.
Exactly right. So a little bit of news trickling out this week. Again, we've been really talking, the only big news and stuff that's really been coming out is stuff about streaming, taking over cinemas shutting down, all this kind of stuff. As we said, we're opening up here in Victoria at the moment. The rest of Australia's really been open, for a good few months.
Yeah.
COVID normal open.
Yeah.
Victoria's slowly opening up.
I think most states have still got cinemas open, haven't cinemas open, I think.
I don't know. I think so.
To limited.
I think so, yeah.
Limited audience.
But here in Melbourne, Victoria cinemas have been closed and they're remaining closed for the time being, which is weird because restaurants are opening, retailers opening. They're allowing how many? Did you hear this about the Boxing Day match? The cricket match?
Yeah.
They're going to allow 20,
amount of 20,
something like that.
25,000 or something.
But there's
25,000, I think it was, and that's a stadium. For those who don't know, only in Australia, it's a stadium that holds 100,000 people. So they're allowing 25,000. I think it's 25,000 people in, which is good. It's good to have sport back in Melbourne.
But we've got cinemas, which there's no, they don't have a word yet on when they're opening. Sydney Morning Herald.
Well, that'll be announced next week.
Yeah, well, we'll mention that in a second. But Sydney Morning Herald ran an article about this and said the boss of one of Australia's largest cinema chains said he was furious and depressed that his industry had been left off the Andrew government schedule for reopening while other riskier businesses had been given the go-ahead. To not allow us to reopen when we have the abilities to do so safely with COVID-safe numbers and protocols in place is just pernicious. Pernicious. I don't know if I've ever heard that word before. Palace Cinemas Chief Executive Officer Benjamin Zakola said, I am furious and depressed. And the morning show actually had the head of Village Jam Factory. He was interviewed at one of the morning shows. He pretty much said the exact same sentiments. They're not going to find out yet until November 8th. Bars, restaurants are able to reopen. This is the Sydney Morning Herald said bars and restaurants are able to reopen with limited capacity from October 27 and gyms from November 8, but cinemas are unable to open unless they are open air venues. So the drive-ins are opening up this weekend.
They opened last night.
Oh, there you go.
I think, last night, the night before. No, it might have been the night before.
They're open. So
we've only got one in Melbourne anyway.
Yeah, which is the one out in Coburg.
And one down
in Dramana.
Yeah.
So they're open. It's a Village Coburg drive-in. They're playing newer films like Unhinged, Trolls World Tour, Antebellum, The Craft Legacy, Invisible Man, and a lot of classic films: Scream, The Matrix, Evil Dead 2, Hocus Pocus, Rocky Horror, Step Brothers, Princess Bride, Starship Troopers, Big Lebowski, Batman, 1989.
Oh my God!
They're charging $35 for a carload, which is up to 5 people. Or if you're a V Rewards member, you can get a discount for $20.
Sneak a few extras in the booth.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we used to do when we were young.
Oh, my Lord.
40 years ago.
Don't know if you get away with that now.
Oh, no.
No, you don't want to be ripping off the cinemas at this time.
No, exactly right.
That's
Do the right thing.
Do the right thing. If you've got more than 5 people, take a couple of cars and, pay. These guys have been out of...
$35 for 5 people.
Exactly right.
$7
You pay $30 a person to see a movie in, what do you call it, the VMAX.
Yeah. And you can order food and stuff. The kiosks and that are closed.
Yeah,
but you can order. I think there's an app or something.
Yeah, that's right.
You order food and you give them your. There's a number on your on the parking bay you're in, and they'll bring it out to you.
That's the way it'll go. I reckon from future now you won't need to get out of your car.
Well, you could do that. You could do that before anyway.
Well, there you go.
But now it's just the only way you can do it.
It's been that long since I've been to a drive-in. Jeez, years. So. We don't know what's going to happen with cinemas. Disney released a new release slate yesterday for Australia. They're ready to drop a couple of movies this year, mostly from the 20th Century Studios side. Free Guy and Nomadland, which are both opening. Of course, Soul has been taken off the release schedule to go Disney+.
Damn it.
The 30th Home Alone is getting a 30th anniversary re-release. It's a limited release between the 3rd and 9th of December, which will be interesting.
Oh.
They've just done the new 4K remaster.
I was going to say they remastered it.
Yeah, well, I bought the 4K disc a few weeks ago.
Oh, there you go.
Sony, I got a release schedule from Sony. They're releasing The Happiest Season in November. And in December, they're putting out Monster Hunter, Peter Rabbit 2, and Words on Bathroom Walls. I haven't heard from the other studios, but I'm sure they do have plans to be releasing movies towards the end of the year. But I don't know. If there's no word from Victoria, again, they said there's probably going to be an announcement in the next week or so. I don't know what's going to happen.
I reckon because they're going to announce more relaxing of restrictions, not this coming Sunday, but the following. It's the November the 8th, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
I reckon that'll be amongst it.
I would have to be.
I think they'll open.
Have to be.
I think they'll open, but they'll open to like 20% capacity.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll have a 500 seat cinema allowing 100 people in.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So I reckon that's what they'll do. They have to do it. They
they
can't keep them locked down any longer.
Well, I've been saying this whole time, I'm not comfortable going to a cinema. I don't want to be around. I feel like I could. I feel like I would be comfortable.
Well, we were just talking about that last night.
Yeah.
And you said that you think
I
you'd be comfortable.
I'd actually be comfortable to go to a cinema now.
Because what they'll do is they'll only allow people to sit every second or third row. Probably every third row, and there'll probably be 2 or 3 seats between groups.
And from what I understand, there's not a lot of people going anyway. And I've heard from a lot of people who I speak to online or whatever who don't live in Victoria, live in rural Melbourne. Their cinemas are closed in rural still for some stupid reason. But when they were open, I've heard from quite a few people that were going and they were saying like I'm the only one in the cinema.
Yeah.
Or they just felt very safe.
Well, a lot of people are suffering what they're calling a FOGO, fear of going out.
Yeah, yeah.
So you can understand. I mean, having living in Melbourne and having been locked down and probably for best part of 5 months, people are probably quite fearful of going out.
Yeah, well, I have been. I've just been like, but I feel like I'm at the stage now where I think, look, everything, like they're going to have all these protocols in place. I think I'd be comfortable enough to go and see like bloody Russell Crowe Unhinged or whatever it's called, or just, go to the cinema and just experience like a film in the cinema. Free Guy, which looks really great, which is the Ryan Reynolds film. So I don't know. I think even Home Alone would be fun to see on the big screen. Even though I've just bought the 4K.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I don't know. But I think
you go and buy yourself for that. you and Lockie Della.
Yeah. But I feel like I'd be comfortable to go to a cinema now.
Yeah. I don't have an issue with it. As I said last week, the week before, that I wouldn't have an issue because they'll have all the protocols in place, and people don't seem to be being as stupid as they were after the first lockdown.
Oh, exactly right.
Apart from the first day, the day before yesterday,
my Lord, yeah,
where everybody went to the shopping centre.
Knock wood.
Crazy.
But yeah, so I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens with the cinemas. I think they will pull through. Hopefully it's just another couple of weeks. Otherwise, I just don't know. Well, our drive-in's going to be the future of cinema. Are we going to have a resurgence of drive-ins?
Nah. I'm pretty confident they'll open it up.
I think
next weekend.
Yeah.
And it'll probably be, from the Tuesday night or the Wednesday night or something like that. Give the cinemas a little bit of a chance to get things ready and whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
And hopefully, people will get out and they'll support the cinemas again. And
yeah, definitely. And not sneak into a drive-in in the boot.
No. Well, that's something we used to do, 30, 40 years ago, 40 years ago.
It was probably $2 a car then or something.
No, I think I can't remember, but I think back then you paid per person.
Oh, right, yeah.
It wasn't per car.
I vaguely remember even when I was younger paying per person.
Yeah, and that's why you did it, because it was, even then it was sort of relatively expensive. And you'd pile, you'd have a car full of, you'd have, say, 3 people in the car, 2 or 3 people in the car, and half a dozen people in the boot.
Yeah.
Which is...
No, you wouldn't do it now.
Illegal on so many ways.
No, you wouldn't do that right now.
But but it's funny back then. I mean, I'd seen instances where we'd be sitting in the car in the cinema, and then a car would pull up alongside you, and the boot would open up, and half a dozen people would get out of the boot, and there'd be a cop sitting in a car either behind them or next to them, and they'd just be shaking their head, going, "You idiot," and do nothing about it.
Yeah, different times, huh?
Oh yeah, that was 40 years ago. So
yeah. With the cinemas and whatever not open, and worldwide, streaming's been taking over. We've been talking about it. It's just the face of everything's just changing rapidly week by week. There's been a case with Amazon someone's tried to sue Amazon. Now, this was reported by the Hollywood Reporter that an Amazon Prime, Amanda Caudle in April sued Amazon for unfair competition and false advertising. She claims that the company secretly in inverted commas, secretly reserves the right to end consumers' access to content purchased through its Prime Video service. She filed a class action on behalf of herself and any California residents who purchase video content from the service from between April 25, 2016 and present. And Amazon's come out and said, well, you don't actually own what you purchase on Prime Video, and we've been very clear with this. The streamer says its terms of use are clear. What viewers are paying for is a limited license. On-demand viewing over an indefinite period of time. So essentially, you own that until Amazon decides to take it off the service.
Well, you don't own it, you rent that.
Well, you rent it, you own the right to view, as long as Amazon has it on the service, or as long as the licensees allow Amazon to have it on there, whatever. This is a thing that we've been saying for a long time. That's why we're such huge advocates of physical media. You never own a movie unless you own a physical copy of it.
But even that's dodgy too. Like if you owned it, you could do what you want with it.
Yeah. Well, you don't. Even buying a disc, you
basically. My understanding is that you own the disc that it's on, but you don't own the rights to do with it what you want.
You don't own the film, but you own a copy. You own a copy of the film in your physical collection. You can watch it whenever you want. Someone from Warner Brothers isn't going to break your door down and go, you can't have that anymore. Take it off your shelf. It's there until the disc stops working.
That's right.
Blu-rays have a lifetime of 100 years, apparently. Right?
Yeah, until computer companies stop supporting them and they stop bringing out Blu-ray players. And
but
because that'll happen eventually.
But yeah, this is a big thing, and a lot of people are just going crazy on their digital collections. It's the same with iTunes. It's the same with Apple. It's the same with anywhere you buy a digital copy for a movie. You could wake up one morning and all your movies are gone because they've taken off the service. Their license has lapsed. Their studio has gone. No, you can't have that anymore. It's just you are paying for stuff that you don't have forever, right? Whereas with physical, you have it there.
Yep,
you have it there. So if you love your films and you want that copy of that movie to watch whenever you want, right? Buy it physically, because you've always got it there, right?
And particularly when you're someone my age, and you get into I'm far from it, hopefully at the moment. But there will come a time in everybody's life when you basically can't get out and about as much and as easily as you like to, and I'll be sitting on my fat ass back here somewhere in the cinema and just watching crap. Yeah. And if there's something that I want to watch that's not on a streaming service, I've probably got it already.
Well, exactly right.
So I can sit and watch whatever I want, whenever I want.
This week we just passed 5,555 titles in the joint collection.
Shh, your mother might be listening.
Yeah, I know. No, she doesn't listen.
Thank Christ.
Anyway, that's just something I've been on about for years on my videos. I get a lot of comments, why are you buying this? It's on Disney Plus. It's on Netflix. Even Disney Plus, I feel like, it's a one-stop shop for everything Disney. You wait. I guarantee they're going to take stuff down eventually.
They'll vault stuff.
There's still so much. We'll talk about this later because I've had someone write in about it. But they will. There's so much stuff that's not on there. Hundreds of titles that are not on there, right? There's going to be a point where they start taking stuff off before they start putting other stuff on, right? I don't know. I don't have any inside intel on this. This is just my thoughts. This is how a streaming service works, and I feel like that's probably what will happen with Disney Plus at some point. We already saw it. Home Alone was on there last year. After Christmas, it came down. It's still not back up there. They came out, they said, it's just rights issues because it was a 20th Century Pictures film. I don't know if I buy that. I just feel like it was a Christmas movie. It was up there for Christmas. Christmas is over. Take it down.
See if it comes up next month.
Exactly right. That'll be interesting.
Next more December, maybe.
Yeah, that will be very interesting to see what happens there.
Keep an eye on that.
Yeah, but I feel like, again, one-stop shop for everything Disney, I don't know how long that's going to last. When it gets to a point where they have to keep people there, take stuff off, rotate it around like Netflix does, keep everything fresh.
Well, they had that vault system with the
DVDs and
Well, right back to VHS.
Oh, yeah, exactly right.
VHS and the DVD and the Blu-rays, they would vault them, for 7 years or something?
Yeah, 7 years. They'd be available for like a year.
Yeah. Then they'd vault them for another 7 years. So they'll do the same. They're going to have to do the same.
I feel like it's probably what's going to happen.
There's so much shit out there that they probably don't physically have the space to store it all.
Well, exactly right, yeah. I mean, they can only...
on a streaming service.
Yeah, I don't know. That'll be one to watch. But, like, this kind of thing has been coming up... Like, there was a story years ago with Bruce Willis. Apparently had an enormous, like, music collection on iTunes.
Yeah, that's right.
And wanted to leave it to his children in his will, and he legally wasn't allowed to because you don't own the music. You are purchasing the right to listen to it yourself. Yeah. You can't pass it on to someone else. So once you pass, it lapses. And I don't know if they've changed anything about that now, but that was a thing that was probably 5 years ago, maybe longer. There was like this huge story about it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they fix stuff, but these kind of weird things with like buying stuff digitally, what you can do with it, how long you have it for. Bottom line, once again, if you love a movie, if you love music, whatever, you want it there forever to be able to watch it or listen to it whenever you want with no restrictions, right? Unless your Blu-ray player blows up. Right? Buy it physically. Yeah,
exactly right. And then at some point you have to buy a spare Blu-ray player because they'll stop making them.
Well, I feel like I need to buy a spare, multi-zone one. Because I don't know, because that one I've got, it's just dodgy. The only multi-zone player you can buy here in Australia is like a really shitty cheap one. Yeah. And I feel like it's not going to last long.
And the image off it's pretty shit.
Pretty average, yeah. I feel like I want to buy just a spare one just for future proof.
There was one on the market that was a half decent quality one.
Oh, the Oppo one was.
Yeah, but no, I don't know if it was 4K though. It was only. Or was it only?
Well, that's the good thing with
I can't remember.
The 4K discs are region free worldwide because they haven't zoned 4K discs. Right. I think because it's cheaper for them to just manufacture them in one place and then they go out to the rest of the world from there. It's such a niche market that they've got like a couple of plants that do it, and then it go like you get a lot of like titles here on 4K. It's got the UK logos on the disc.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Right?
We're in the same zone. Well, ours is the same zone.
It's the same zone. Well. But then but obviously they press them in the UK or press them somewhere else and then they go out like around the world, whatever. Yeah. So 4K discs are region free, no matter where you buy them from. But yeah, I think the Oppo player had region free Blu-ray, but they don't make them anymore.
Oh, okay.
They stopped making Blu-ray players. Yeah, sadly.
A friend of ours will be able to tell us he's got one.
Oh, yeah, he
Michael.
does too. Yeah.
So hopefully Michael make a comment on there. Yeah. And tell us whether it's a multi-zone Blu-ray player or not. But there was another, I don't know, it was a Samsung or something that you could multi-zone for DVD but not Blu-ray.
Oh yeah, I think the one we've got, it sold it to us as multi-zone. Yeah. It's a multi-zone DVD, multi-zone 4K, but Blu-ray, no
Blu-ray. That's right. Yeah, because it's actually a hardware issue, I think.
Yeah, it's like
as opposed to it's software. It's just software.
Yeah. Anyway, bit of interesting movie news this week. Not a whole lot of stuff, so we'll just kind of skim through some stuff here. Variety reported that Universal apparently tried to sell James Bond 25, No Time to Die, to Netflix and Apple TV.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You know how they've been slowly pushing the release date out on that one, right? Apparently they wanted to palm that off. Allegedly wanted to palm that off to a streamer. They allegedly tried to sell it for $600 million. And none of the streamers wanted anything to do with that.
$600 million. They'll never make their money back on that.
Universal denies this, but industry insiders have said they overtly explored a sale. Now, keep in mind, Amazon recently paid $125 million for Coming to America, the number 2.
Yep.
It's the sequel, Coming to America. And that was a record sale for an acquisition from a streaming service, $125 million. And Universal's jumping in the game, give me $600 million.
Well, James Bond would be worth more than
James Bond would make $1 billion.
To America.
James Bond would make $1 billion at the box office.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't think the last one
Not on a streaming service, though.
No way.
I'd imagine they're going to get enough people to either stay connected or connect to.
It wouldn't be worth their money on a streaming service.
I'd probably be paying $250 maybe.
Probably. But the last James Bond, but then that would not be worth it for the studio. No,
that's right.
They were saying that they'd lost like maybe $20 to $50 million on all these pushbacks, which was allegedly why they wanted to sell it off to a streamer. Just get it off our hands. We were losing so much money. But the last James Bond film, I don't think made $1 billion, but the previous one did, and maybe the one before that. And this is Daniel Craig's last film as Bond. It'd be huge.
Thank Christ.
Everyone, I hated the last one.
Oh, it was terrible.
I hated it.
It's only one of his that I've liked, I think.
Casino Royale was good. I liked. Skyfall was great, which is one you
really liked.
Skyfall
was one I liked. Yeah.
But the other two, that's just trash.
Just crap.
But yeah, so that was one. That's a film that would make $1 billion at the box office. So Universal's desperate, trying to get rid of it for $600 allegedly. But I don't know.
They'll never get that.
No, they won't, and I don't think that'll go streaming. That'll go to a cinema.
Well, it's going to have to. I think if Universal want to make their money back, they're going to have to take it to a cinema.
Right.
Even if they push it back and push it back and push it back like they have been, they'll still make their money back on it that way.
Exactly right.
It's probably frustrating for them. They think they're not going to make their money back. They'll make their money back.
Oh, of course. So whenever people flock to see it,
unless it's a piece of absolute trash. And the word gets out that it's trash, no one will go see it.
Well, the last one was, but I think that still made $800 million. Like, I don't know.
I don't know.
But who knows in this climate, who knows how many people are going to be going to the movies, how much money these people are going to make. I think everyone's just at panic stations at the moment. Just get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of it. But I think we'll see Bond in cinemas. It's set for cinemas in April 2021, again, after being pushed back, I think, at least twice this year. We've got a couple of exciting movies coming to streaming, one of which I'm particularly interested in is called Midnight Sky. Yeah. Not to be confused with the recent Miley Cyrus single, also called Midnight Sky.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Completely unrelated. It's not like that's the theme song to the film. No, completely unrelated. This is like a sci-fi thing. It's got George Clooney in it, Felicity Jones, David Oyelowo, Kyle Chandler, the coach. It's an adaptation of Lily Brooks Dalton's acclaimed novel Good Morning Midnight. That would have been a good name for it, Good Morning Midnight, especially to avoid confusion with the Miley Cyrus track. It's not a bad track, actually. But anyway, the film it's a post-apocalyptic tale which follows Augustine, a lonely scientist in the Arctic, as he races to stop Sully and her fellow astronauts from returning home to Earth, where a mysterious global catastrophe has taken place. It's directed by George Clooney as well. I was going to say before, I think it's directed by him, but I wasn't too sure. This is coming to Netflix on December 23rd, so a couple of days before Christmas. We're going to take a very, very quick look at the trailer for this one. I'm very excited for it. Let's have a look.
This is Ether. Does anyone copy? We're not receiving anything.
That puts our last contact with Mission Control at
3 weeks.
That's Ether. It's a spaceship that we hoped would be our future. I have to warn them about the conditions on Earth. I don't know all the details. It started with a mistake.
There you go, Midnight Sky, starring
and
directed by Giorgio Clooney.
Doesn't look bad at all.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
It looks very good, like great production value, looks like it's got a big budget. I thought that this was maybe something that was produced for cinemas and then got handballed off to Netflix, but no, apparently this has been a Netflix production from the beginning. This feels very much like Interstellar, Ad Astra, Gravity, just very similar.
Yeah, Ad Astra, definitely.
It's always like that really kind of like a guy who is, going through some life sort of arc thing, trying to discover himself while discovering family and all these like things of his past, whatever. But I love those movies. I'm not a huge science fiction fan, but I love these films that have been coming out the last few years, which is like space set movie, a very human story. I just love them. And the music's always so like ethereal and euphoric. I just love them. I think they're really good. So I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, looks good. It
should be good.
When's that?
December 23rd, so a few days before Christmas. And I'll be watching that day one, I reckon.
Oh, for sure.
For sure. That looks really, really good.
Always like Clooney stuff.
I love Clooney.
Yeah.
I love Felicity Jones. She is one of my favourite actresses, like current actresses.
Yeah.
I think she's great. She doesn't do enough. I was thinking recently, she hasn't been in anything in ages. And the last thing I remember her being in was like maybe Rogue One. I'm sure I've probably seen her in something since then. But I love her. I think she's great. And, of course, Carl Chandler, man.
Coach. Love Coach. Love Coach.
David Oyelowo is great. Yeah, so that looks pretty good. Another movie that's coming out doesn't look really that great. It's one called Songbird. This is from Michael Bay. I don't know when this is coming out, where it's coming out. It's a dystopian thriller about COVID.
Oh, God. Already?
The tagline is "The only way out is together." It stars KJ Apa, Sophia Carlson, Craig Robinson, Bradley Whitford, Peter Stormare, Alexandra Daddario, Paul Walter Hauser from Richard Jewell, and Demi Moore. Variety reports that the movie takes place in 2024 and KJ Apa and Sophia Carson play a couple separated by the pandemic and living under martial law. Apa's character claims to be immune from the virus, which may help him as he searches for his girlfriend, who is forced to evacuate her apartment after her neighbor contracts the virus. It's a dystopian, scary world, but it's a romantic movie about two people who want to be together, but they can't, says director Adamson Mason, told Entertainment Weekly. It's Romeo and Juliet, but they're separated by her front door and by the virus.
How can you take it seriously?
Well, Craig
Robinson, Bradley Whitford.
Well, Bradley
comedic actor. Well, Bradley Whitford, yeah, he's quite good.
He's done a lot of drama. Like he did The West Wing.
West Wing, he was great in The West Wing.
But he was, I guess, a bit of a comedic character in that. But he's done a lot of good drama stuff. Craig Robinson maybe is trying to take like a drama turn. As far as I'm aware, it's not a comedy.
He's probably good.
Probably.
A lot of comedic actors are really good dramatic actors.
Yeah. But it was just a matter of time someone did this. We said at the very beginning,
how long is it going to take?
Until someone makes a movie about this. A lot of people online are criticising it for being tone deaf and out of touch. Is it too early to do a movie like this?
Probably. Leave it a couple of years, I think. God.
Well, one thing
I'd put a film out about it while you're living through it.
Yeah, well, this is the interesting thing. World War II. They were making World War II movies during World War II.
That's right.
During the war.
A lot of that was propaganda.
A lot of it was propaganda, but a lot of the like huge, big Hollywood classic movies we consider to be classics now were made during World War II, about World War II. Charlie Chaplin did a movie called The Great Dictator. It was a satire. It was like a scathing criticism of fascism, anti-Semitism, the Nazis, Hitler, all of that. It was actually a talking film. He delivered this soliloquy at the end, like he played it was essentially like the Borat of the time.
Yeah,
where he played Hitler like a caricaturized version of Hitler, and delivered this soliloquy at the end, which was like asking for peace and love and stuff. People tried to like cancel him back then. Because he came out and made this huge we don't want to hear politics in your movie.
Really?
You're a comedic actor. Just bloody stick to pratfalls and stuff. Yeah, they tried to like almost ruin his career because he did this film.
Wow.
So times haven't changed a lot. There's a lot of cancel culture right now, but even back then when Chaplin did this during World War II, but maybe that's again that same kind of that pushback, like it's too early. Chaplin even said if he knew, because obviously everything with the Nazis and the concentration camps and all that, they didn't find that out until the end of the war because it was so secret in Germany, and mass genocide and all that stuff. Chaplin came out and said, "I wouldn't have made the movie if I knew the extent of what the Nazis were doing."
Oh, really?
The Holocaust and everything.
Wow.
So again, maybe it's that thing about is it too soon?
I don't know if I want to watch a film that's about something we're actually living through at this point in time.
As I said, a lot of classic movies were made in World War II. Hitchcock's Foreign Correspondent, All Through the Night, Across the Pacific, Flying Tigers, Life and Death of Colonel Blimp, Mrs. Miniver, Winged Victory, Casablanca. They were all about World War II and they were made in World War II.
Wow.
But I don't know. I feel like maybe it's a different kind of thing.
Maybe if it's made in the right tone.
Yeah.
It could serve as a bit of a historical document.
Yeah,
but there's a lot of that sort of stuff. When you look at it, is a bit of a historical document.
Yeah.
It's like it might serves like that.
I guess that was life then. So you're going to make movies about how life is, but
I suppose 50 years down the track, there'll be films. There'll be
so
a lot more
these
films about the pandemic that your children and their children, whatever, we'll have these documents about what we lived through.
Yeah, it'll happen. But again, as you said, it's probably the way you do it.
Yeah.
So the way this is doing it, set in the dystopian future. What if COVID takes over? What if we're stuck in lockdown for 4 years? It's like, maybe I think it is, just a very kind of just not the right way of doing it. Not the right doing a COVID movie.
It's what I feel too.
Turning this situation we're all living into a horror film, essentially. And it's almost like, could this like get people like maybe a little bit more edgy than they already are?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's a very big difference between.
I think that sort of film should be left until
it's we know it's okay.
Exactly.
People are not dying anymore.
Yeah.
It's just like, here's a hypothetical of what could have happened, not here's a hypothetical of what could happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know. I was going to take a little look at a trailer of that, but I don't think we need to.
No, I don't think so.
Look, this is a Halloween special, apparently.
Yeah.
Let's just talk a little bit about some of our favourite horror films people want to be interested in. This is about all I can think of to do for a Halloween show. We've written down some good horror films that we like. I think you're probably the same, more of a psychological horror kind of fan.
Yeah, I don't like slasher horror.
Don't like slasher.
Not
don't
a
like
big fan of slasher films.
Gore. No, stuff like that.
Really.
I haven't ever been able to get
into. A little
into.
bit of gore here and there and in the right place. And
but like
in the right tone of the film.
Slasher gore is not something I can get into.
Not
or like
all.
those like Italian gore films.
Oh,
like
some of them.
No, terrible. The Shining is probably my favourite horror film of all time.
It'd be right up there with me.
Yeah.
It scared the bejesus out of me. Because I saw it at the cinema when it was first released. Scared the bejesus out of me.
Oh, it's so creepy. It's still creepy. I don't know how many times I've seen it. So many. Dr. Sleep, I loved the sequel.
That was good.
I thought that was really good. That lived up to it so well.
Yep. A couple of others. I enjoyed The Conjuring.
Oh, yeah.
Annabelle.
It's probably my favourites, The Conjuring.
They're
modern horror.
They were pretty good. I really enjoyed those.
Great.
Yeah.
Hitchcock classic, Psycho, The Birds. Again, not full horror, more like psychological stuff. And very, I guess, dated horror. But I love them. I love them. Yeah.
Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
Signs. I enjoyed the Signs.
I can't really remember that one that well, but I do remember enjoying it.
Mel Gibson.
Yeah. Sixth Sense is great. Yeah. But again, that's probably more thriller than horror. I don't know. Omega Man.
Oh, that's
with Charlton Heston.
That scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
That is pretty
That
full
really
on.
scared the shit out of me.
A bit dated now, but yeah, very. But the the Will Smith version, I Am Legend, brilliant.
The remake, that's really good.
Very good.
Really enjoyed that.
There was Omega Man was actually a remake to begin with. The first version was Last Man on Earth with Vincent Price.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So there's been three versions. It was based on the book I Am Legend. So it took them 3 films until they finally named one after the book.
But no, they were both good films. As I said, the Omega Man. Scared the shit out of me. Mm-hmm. Was it Heston? What's he?
The world's best worst actor. Yeah.
Funny saying.
Brilliant.
Secret Window.
Yeah, that's
with
creepy as.
Johnny Depp?
Johnny Depp and John Turturro. Was it John Turturro?
Yeah. You stole my story.
Oh, brilliant film. So good.
Love it. John Turturro has done some great stuff.
Yeah. Insidious was good.
Oh, yeah.
Loved it. Don't think we watched the sequels, though, from memory. Maybe the second one?
Maybe the second one. I don't think we sort of enjoyed that much.
No.
The Witch?
Oh, yeah, that was good.
That was good. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was like a few years back. Yeah, that was very, very good. Surprising one. Very surprising. Wolf Creek. Aussie horror.
Oh, my God.
Full on. You look like the bloke from it. Scary.
I can tell you. But I'd have to kill you.
So many. Like, I don't know. White Noise. Great movie with Michael Keaton. One of your favourites.
Oh, I love that.
So good.
Scared the shit out of you and your mate.
Oh, that was so scary, that movie.
I was watching it by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did it have the lights off? I had the lights off.
Everything was off.
Had all the lights off, and you and your mate, you were only young. You were only 10 years old or something at the time.
12 or something, probably.
And you had was it Della?
Oh, it might have been Ferguson.
Lockie Ferguson, I think it was. And I was watching it, and your mother had gone to bed because she wasn't going to watch it.
Yeah.
And there's one scene in there where there's a
jump scare.
Oh my God, scared the crap out of me. And you and Ferguson come running out of your bedroom, sort of the top of the steps at the family room. And you go, oh, what was that? looking like you'd seen it go.
So funny.
It was hilarious.
Yeah,
but I enjoyed that.
Yeah, great film.
It,
yeah, good. It was only, but the new one I didn't feel was as scary as I was hoping for it to be.
But the original was good.
The original was great with Tim Curry.
Yeah, that was more psychological. As well.
So many. A Quiet Place. You haven't watched that yet. We've got to get you onto that. Brilliant movie. The second one was supposed to come out this year, but unfortunately, pandemic and everything.
A couple of older ones: Poltergeist, Carrie, Christine.
Yeah.
TV series American Horror Story.
I love American Horror Story.
I haven't watched it.
You haven't watched it? First season, so good. Oh my Lord, so good. Love it. Let's get on to some subscriber questions and round the show out today. What do you reckon?
Let's do that because we're getting short on time.
Yeah.
Well, we're over our hour.
Well, I wanted to do an hour today, but that never happens anymore.
Never happens. Can't shut our mouths.
Yeah.
Okay, first question. Anthony Fisher, who is a Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
What is your favourite movie soundtrack of all time?
Ooh. Jotted a few down here, haven't we?
Yeah.
Now, it depends whether you're talking about like a score or a soundtrack.
Okay, so there's scores.
Scores. Well, my personal favourites, I had to look through my record collection. Black Swan, the Black Swan soundtrack by Clint Mansell. He kind of... it is the Swan Lake, the Tchaikovsky Swan Lake score, the ballet, but made it very like horror-ish, like thriller-ish. And it's almost like, he kind of remixed it to be more, thrilling and stuff. He was like amazing score, like the best score of that year was not eligible for an Oscar nomination because it was based on a previously existing work, unfortunately. But I love that. The Interstellar score by Hans Zimmer, really anything by Hans Zimmer is great, but Interstellar's like up there. If I tried listening to that, occasionally I go to sleep, I put some music on. I tried listening to that when I went to sleep and I had weird dreams, so I never did it again. Michael Giacchino, I love his stuff. Ratatouille, Up. The Light Between Oceans soundtrack's one that I've been drifting towards recently. I love it. Didn't really like the movie, but I love the score.
The score's nice.
Yeah, Alexandre Desplat did that. Just gorgeous. He's great. He's done some really great music. And really anything by John Williams. But Jurassic Park, I think, is my ultimate John Williams score. Yeah. Soundtracks, we've jotted some down.
Oh, yeah. Blues Brothers. One of my favourites.
Greatest soundtrack
Love
ever.
the Blues Brothers. What else you got? Pulp Fiction.
Yep.
Guardians. Yeah. Volume 1 and 2.
Both great.
Reservoir Dogs.
Yep.
Shrek,
yes. Shrek soundtrack rocked.
I Am Sam.
Yeah.
Love the I Am Sam.
Great Beatles soundtrack covers,
Batman Forever. No, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, such a good one.
Some really good music on that. I really like that.
Yeah.
Gatsby.
I love the Gatsby soundtrack. So good. Yeah.
Apocalypse Now is another one.
Oh, so there's a lot of good stuff out there. A lot of good soundtracks.
A lot of really good stuff out there.
Yeah. Next question.
Blake. Mm-hmm. Our old mate Blake from up in Queensland.
Yep. Thanks, Blake.
Patreon again. How good was the Melbourne Storm grand final win?
Yes.
He loved it. It was fantastic. It fixed my weekend up because I watched the AFL grand final the night before, and the team that won wasn't the team I wanted to win. It wasn't my team anyway that got beat, but unfortunately Richmond beat Geelong, and I didn't enjoy that. And I was hoping for Melbourne Storm win, and we got it. There. It was fantastic. Beautiful. And it was a great win. Mm-hmm. They almost stuffed it up towards the end, but they were always in control of the whole game. That was great.
There you go.
So thanks for asking, Blake. It was brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Rogers, MGB, is another Patreon.
Yep.
Now that the lockdown is slowly coming to an end for us Victorians, there's another Victorian. Yeah, it's good. How's it going across Melbourne now that things are starting to get back to normal, like us in regional Victoria? He's in Bendigo.
Well, I guess we covered it in the show.
Yeah.
Going all right. We're getting better. We're coming out of lockdown. Things are getting to COVID normal.
Yeah. So we're
going okay.
We can get out and about now, and we can go and, go to the shopping centre and do what we have to do, and we've got no restrictions on movement, and nice. The reasons we can get out are, because we only had four reasons to leave the house. Now we can do whatever, and So it's good, but you still have restrictions.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Tyler, thanks for asking. It's getting better. Josh M. Shepherd writes. Was he right?
He writes for What's on Disney
Plus.
Good
it's a vlog.
Yeah.
Love your show. Thanks, Josh.
Yeah.
Clearly, The Mandalorian Season 2 will soon overshadow other Disney Plus topics, but when you look at a list of over 600 Disney-owned films and series missing from Disney Plus, do any stand out as
Aquarius?
I couldn't. Egregious or bizarre oversights.
Yeah. Well, we kind of again. Josh Shepherd writes for What's on Disney Plus is a vlog, and they have a blog. I believe he writes for the blog, but he's published this article, which is like 600 titles missing from Disney Plus. And he's done this awesome job of like breaking down all these movies that aren't on there, like big Disney films and stuff. I had a very quick look through, and some of the ones that really stood out for me, Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, all the other Pirates movies are on there. 1, 2, 3, and 5, but 4 is not on there. That's a weird one. Home Alone films, as we touched on before, are not on there. Father of the Bride, great, like Touchstone films, not on there. The Ernest films, Ernest Goes to Camp, Saves Christmas, Scares Stupid. Fun. They were good crap movies, but I loved them as a kid. They played on Disney Channel.
Over and over again.
They're always on Disney Channel. I'd borrow them from Blockbuster. Love those movies. And there's so many Walt-era classics that are not on there. There's like maybe 15 of them on there maybe. And stuff like Make My Music, Victory Through Air Power, So Dear to My Heart, like animated ones. So Dear to My Heart was a animated live-action hybrid. Song of the South isn't on there, but it doesn't stand out as bizarre because we all know why Song of the South, why Disney doesn't release that anymore. But even stuff like Old Yeller, Son of Flubber, Now You See Him, Now You Don't, one of Kurt Russell's first films, Computer Wore Tennis Shoes, likewise. Lieutenant Robinson Crusoe, which is a Dick Van Dyke film, brilliant. And all of those like Wonderful World of Disney documentaries and the hundreds and hundreds of Disney shorts that aren't on there. But like we said before, it's going to be this thing where they're going to have to hold stuff off. They have to hold time. They can't put everything up there at once.
Yeah,
you know, you can't put the entire back catalogue up because everyone will just power through it, and then why am I going to be Disney Plus subscriber anymore?
No, exactly.
You're just there for the new stuff, you know, the exclusive stuff.
They've got to keep turning it over to keep you interested.
Exactly right. So they're going to hold a lot of stuff off. It'll go on there eventually, maybe again at the expense of other stuff. Who knows? But that for me anyway. I went through your list, which is really great. But they're the ones that really stood out for me in particular.
Matthew. How do you pronounce his surname?
Mattiocco, I think.
Mattiocco, something like that. Sorry for pronouncing it wrong, Matthew.
Yeah,
if Disney Plus launches an adult section, do you think that they'd consider moving films like Free Guy and Death on the Nile to the service?
Absolutely. Now, when you say adult section, you obviously mean like a more mature, PG-13, M-rated, not like a, kinky section. But definitely they're talking about doing one called Star. Obviously, Disney owns Hulu. A lot of the 20th Century Pictures and Fox stuff is on there. But they're talking about opening one called Star, which is like an add-on to Disney Plus. It's going to have a lot of Fox catalogue and 20th Century Pictures stuff like Free Guy, Death on the Nile. That'll all definitely move across to this Star. Whether that's a separate app or a add-on to Disney Plus, which is like an unlockable section, I believe that's the way they're going to go with that. That'll definitely be all that kind of stuff will go on there, and probably a lot of like the Touchstone Hollywood Pictures stuff like Gone in 60 Seconds and Armageddon and The Rock.
Didn't realize any of those.
Yeah, they're all Disney. Like all those old, Jerry Bruckheimer films, produced films. They were all Disney. It was like this massive,
oh my God,
contract you had with Disney to do all those films.
Okay, the gold shredder asks favorite Disney-owned movie that is not branded as Disney.
Well, again, stuff like Gone in 60
Seconds,
Con Air, Armageddon. They were all Touchstone films. But then like Touchstone didn't only do like more adult stuff. They did a lot of stuff that was family friendly, but they would market it as Touchstone instead of Disney because maybe Disney had too many other movies out that year and they didn't want to look like they were overtaking the box office, or they were maybe a bit risky. Roger Rabbit in particular. I remember listening to an interview with Leonard Maltin, And obviously a very Disney film. You've got your characters, like cartoon characters in there, but they were so worried about how well that would go down.
Jessica was a bit sexy.
Well, Jessica Rabbit was a bit, and it was a little bit like pushing the boundary a little bit.
Yeah.
But I heard this interview with Leonard Maltin where at the time he had a memo from Disney saying, do not say that this is a Disney movie.
Wow.
Make sure you do not say that this is a Disney film.
Well, there were a lot of people that were obsessed with
Jessica Rabbit. Yeah, I know.
A guy I worked with, David Field, he was obsessed with Jessica Rabbit. Loved Jessica Rabbit.
So yeah, Roger Rabbit I love. One of my favourite movies ever. Even Father of the Bride, Steve Martin, like two of my favourite movies ever. They were Touchstone films. The Rocketeer, that's one that was, again, that's a very family-friendly movie, like a superhero thing, but it was like sort of one that they were maybe a little bit worried about, maybe wasn't going to go too well. Nightmare Before Christmas, same thing. They weren't sure how well that movie was going to go down. In more recent years, they've slammed the Disney logo on that in re-releases. Same with The Rocketeer, because they've more of that like cult sort of status, and people love them. So you buy the Blu-ray, it's got Disney on there. But when they first came out, it didn't.
Oh.
And one that I really love was called Life with Mikey, which is Michael J. Fox. He played like an agent, I think it was like a child agent or something. Just a great films, really great films.
I remember that one too. I have a vague recollection of that, but I can't remember. Be Sponged.
Yep.
Do you hope to see any movies that released on
Video
premium video on demand back in theatres one day?
We've spoken about this a few times. I feel like once cinemas are reopening, you're going to get stuff like Mulan, you're going to get stuff like Soul, Tenet is probably going to open. Well, Tenet went to cinemas, but I feel like all these big movies that have either had video on demand or small runs in cinemas will reopen back up, and you'll get a chance to see them, even if it's just for a very small period of time.
It'll probably be on like a 2-week run.
Yeah, like a limited release. But I feel like we will. We'll get a chance to see.
Or maybe an IMAX release or something.
Who knows?
So let's get through this pretty quick.
Yep.
SFC Mr. Raccoon is why is Big Chungus in all of your Looney Tunes videos?
Why not? I love Big Chungus.
Everybody loves Big Chungus.
I try to slide every time I do a Looney Tunes Evolution video. Big Chungus is in there. It's just become a running joke. It pisses a lot of people off. Why is Big Chungus? Why you put Big Chungus in here again? It's just a fun little recurring gag. I find a way to squeeze in the Big Chungus. And he's in the thumbnails too. People love it. People love memes.
He's a bit of fun.
He's great. Exactly right.
Chantel Moore, when do you think the new Tom and Jerry trailer will be in America?
I'm hearing like mid-November is going to be the official release of the Tom and Jerry trailer. Yeah.
Myra Cordero.
Yep.
Will you tell me when the trailer for the Tom and Jerry will come, and have Tom and Jerry been the great cat and mouse team of all? Overall years? Again,
mid-November-ish, I'm hearing, maybe a little earlier. I will definitely do a video on the Tom and Jerry trailer when I'm allowed, when it comes out, officially. And yes, Tom and Jerry are a great cat and mouse team. They're brilliant.
Windows Fan 2009, yep. What restaurant do you like to eat at?
You had a good answer for that before.
Any restaurant that serves a damn good burger and chips. Right.
And I love a good Italian restaurant.
Italian. Yeah. Jonathan Berry, why do you own Minions t-shirt?
I wore my Minions t-shirt on the show last week, and I own it because I love it. I love the Minions, and I wanted a bloody Minions t-shirt. So,
and just quickly, last week, Tom Budone asked, "What's the best or your favourite recasting of any character in any remake?"
So now we
couldn't really think of anything last week.
No, but we've actually thought about it this time. You had a good one.
Which was Will Smith in I Am Legend.
Yes, brilliant.
That was a great recasting.
Again, we said so many different versions of it, and Will Smith comes in great. One I thought of during the week is a film called Sabrina, which was an old film with Audrey Hepburn and Humphrey Bogart, two of my favourite actors ever. And, you got a classic movie like that, and you make a remake, it's never any good. But they did a remake of Sabrina in the 90s. Harrison Ford was in the Bogart role, and Julia Ormond played the Audrey Hepburn role. And it's a great movie. Yeah. It's like one of those examples of just a really, really good remake that is almost as good as the first movie, if not as good as the original one. So that is my answer to that one, right there.
And that's just about it. We're done.
Yeah, that's it. We're like just on the 1 hour and 30 minutes. But yeah, thank you so much for listening. Of course, you can find me on YouTube at Dave Lee Down Under, and over on Twitter, Instagram. Just search for me, of course. Otherwise, I've got like links down in the description, all that stuff. These episodes going out on all podcasting platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts. Visual Elements is also available with you on YouTube. Again, that goes out 2 days earlier to Patreon supporters on the Saturday. So if you'd like to support the channel for as little as $1 a month, you can do that by heading over to patreon.com/Dave Lee Down Under. If you are listening on podcast platforms, please leave good reviews.
Only good ones.
Only the good ones. Thank you very much. All right, a YouTube preview very quickly. Last week, I launched my top 10 scariest Looney Tunes cartoons ranking video. A bunch of cartoon news last week. And I've just launched my October Blu-ray and DVD update on Saturday. Of course, if you're a patron and you're listening on Saturday, may not be up yet, but it will be by the end of the day. I've just announced my big slate for November as well, as I always do on the first of the month. If you're a patron supporter and you're listening on Saturday, you're getting a very nice early scoop, which is one of the perks of being a patron supporter. So coming up this month, this week actually, I'll be launching my Pixar ranking Volume 2, The Golden Age.
Ooh, I'm looking forward to that one.
I was supposed to do it last month. That covers everything from Cars, Toy Story 2, WALL-E, Ratatouille, up. That'll probably be up around Thursday this week. And later in the month, we've got my evolution of Charlie Brown, Snoopy, and Peanuts gang.
Ooh, love Charlie Brown.
Yeah, your favourite.
My favourite when I was a kid.
We'll have the voice evolution for Charlie Brown as well. And I'm going to have a surprise evolution this month. Oh, I don't want to say too much about it.
I know what it is.
You know what it is. I'm very excited about it. One that a lot of people really want. So we're going to do it. We're trying something a little bit different. It's going to be the first in... It's part of the Cartoon Evolution series that's maybe a bit of a spin-off kind of thing. It's going to be called Cartoon Evolution Shorts, which is a short form evolution which goes for around 10 minutes. So it's a side series I'm going to kind of reserve for smaller characters that have less history than the characters that warrant like a 30 or 40 minute video, right?
And you're going to love it.
Oh, you're going to love it. You're going to love it.
Yep.
I feel like I'm biting off maybe a little bit more than I can chew this month. Two evolutions, but I'm going to keep going. We're going to do it. So there you go. Patreon supporters got a nice little early scoop. But otherwise, there you go. Of course, plenty of reviews over October, a bunch of Disney Plus stuff, Marvel 616, a remake of Black Beauty with Kate Winslet, Lego Star Wars Holiday Special, Inside Pixar doco series, all on Disney Plus. I'm going to be covering all of that stuff and whatever else comes up around the time as well throughout the month. Again, if you want to write into the show, you can shoot an email to daveleepod@gmail.com. Otherwise, thanks for listening, and thanks to old mate Rick for joining me once again.
Dave.
And thanks
for listening.
Thanks for listening. Take it easy,
Take
guys.
it easy. Take care.